3, 2, 1.
Ahoy, and welcome to First Look. Today we're going to be taking a look at a game called Rift Saviours. It's currently being developed by Yakkodev, and I'm fairly certain that Yakkodev hates me. You'll see why more here in a bit, but don't worry, we'll get into that. Anyway, now as of writing this, Rift Saviours is not fully released, and it's still in early access, but you can play the demo, and I will say, be cautious. It's an incredibly addictive game. I've played this game for hours, and I didn't even realize it. Hooray, the dev interview alarm. So we will be having an interview before the end of the video. Anyway, back to the game. Or for the older viewers in the audience, it's much like a casino in the way they don't have windows or clocks, so you don't know what time it is. Anyway, it's an action roguelite, bullet hell-esque, endless survival simulator. Big emphasis on the hell part of bullet hell.
Clean burning hell, I tell you what.
So as you can see right off the bat, we're introduced to our two characters to pick from. One being a blue anime-haired knight-esque character, and the other being a blonde Billy Idol-inspired mage, by the looks of it. They function from at least what I could tell mechanically the same, the only difference really being the aesthetic, but it is nice to have options regardless. Moving on to the weapon selections, you're given the option of being able to switch between one of 4 swords. Now the swords do function differently. The main default sword it gives you is probably the best overall. It puts up solid attack numbers and it attacks multiple times in a row, making it a great all-rounder. So naturally I went full anime buster sword and went full tilt. So you start off relatively easy just by basically killing a few skeletons, but that's where this game decides it's going to lie straight to your damn face, and it's going to lull you into a false sense of security and go straight for the neck later. Enjoy your fun now while you can. We will be coming back to this. Anyway, on to figuring out the controls. Luckily, the controls are incredibly simple, just WASD to move, E or left click to attack. Fun fact, using the E key is going to be vital with the default sword. Anyway, so the more you play this game, the more you will collect these little orbs, maybe they're souls, I'm not too sure, that you're going to get from killing each demonic little critter that wants you and everything you hold dear dead. That's going to be your XP, and obviously these let you level up, increasing your upgrades and levels and equipment. You're going to need to collect the XP, obviously, but don't worry, there will be an endless supply soon. But for right now, you just want to kill the skeletons and start to work on stocking up your resources. And yes, this is where the game separates itself from a lot of roguelites. It gives you the opportunity to gather resources to use in its very own little crafting system. Your primary resources are just going to be wood and stone for the most part. They're pretty much equally valuable in terms of use, and as you can see here, I'm gathering up as much wood and cutting down as many trees as I possibly can. Now with the crafting system, you do notice that you don't have to click on every tree, which is incredibly nice. If you just walk near them, it'll start harvesting the resources for you, and all you have to do is pick them up. And here's your selections. For your upgrades during the crafting phase, you will get 3 upgrades every time. Now you can choose to re-roll them, but you'll lose a crafting point, and I don't have enough resources really to do anything as of right now. But anyhow, it's not too vital currently. We can still handle what's getting thrown at us. But I will tell you, this game picks up fast. Incredibly fast. Remember when I said this game lies to you and it'll lull you into a false sense of security, and this is the only real game that uses the term hell accurately? Oh yeah, I meant that. Because if you're not constantly on top of killing all these damn enemies, they will outnumber you 100 to 1 before you can say oops. Now, while dealing with what appears to be the 6th circle of hell, the one person who decides that we're deserving of some pity is our king, shockingly enough. At random moments, he will send us upgrades that we can either accept or dismantle and use for the crafting system. which I'm not too sure how the damn mail system is so efficient in this kingdom to be able to deliver mail during the satanic uprising, but it's appreciated nonetheless. They're really giving FedEx a run for their money here. Anyway, moving on. You can see the game is starting to turn up the pain dial here and give us some more enemies to fight. As of right now, we have to take out not only skeletons and goblins, but also bats are starting to get introduced here, as well as mummies and pirates by the looks of it. And this is only level 3, or wave 3. I'm not exactly sure. There isn't a wave counter. Anyhow, now and again you can see where these rifts are forming, and that's where the enemies will constantly spawn out from. And I can only assume that they're all climbing out of the pits of hell to come after you. It's almost like in Project Zomboid, how you're not expected to win this game. At least if you can, I haven't been able to do it. Anyway, so it's essentially wash, rinse, repeat, kill, upgrade, move on. It's amazingly effective at keeping me playing it. However, my biggest complaint is whenever you get to gather the resources section, you don't get a break. In most games, you get some form of a small safety window where you can catch your breath, check supplies, and make sure all your limbs are still attached. However, in this game, unless you killed everything on the damn screen, which is only getting more populated by the second, and leftovers from the wave prior, these little shits won't stop attacking you. And on top of that, the gathering phase lasts all of 15 seconds. So essentially what you have to do now is kill what you can to level up, run away, and gather resources while running for your damn life in the realest sense. Just praying that you'll have some divine help coming in to take pity on you in the form of an enemy board wipe. However, that will not be happening anytime soon. It really does put you on edge and make you feel like all is hopeless and you're doomed to this damnation of suffering. And on the topic of saving your own flesh, how do you heal? Oh, I know how to take damage. That's fairly straightforward. I know at random the king will next day air use some fucking alpha bits. However, for me, that only happened one time during any of my playthroughs, and I was already at 75 health. Every HP point really counts here, and there's no health kits or a traveling salesman slinging potions. Not even a breakable rock with a turkey leg in it. I'm not sure if it's the RNG or if the king in general just has a disdain for blue-haired knights. So I'm not worthy of any more soup, much like Oliver Twist or something. Now, there's no confirmed story for this game, but I do have a theory of what's going on in this kingdom. More on that later. God damn, you don't even get to take a breath here. What was the king's plan? Just throw one of the knights out here to deal with everything himself and be like, oh yeah, no, he's got it. He uses a buster sword. We're good. Oh, and speaking of the buster sword, after initially having positive thoughts on it because it looks the coolest, looks can be deceiving. After realizing that the mummies are slightly stronger than the other enemies, and when there's 1,000 of them chewing at your ankles at the same time, you'll be wishing you picked another bastard sword. After roughly wave 3 or 4, the buster sword becomes your Achilles heel of your playthrough. You're just not able to kill these things fast enough to deal with them, and they keep popping up like goddamn mushrooms. Luckily, this is where the upgrades and crafting systems come into play more. You can either craft these upgrades yourself or get them by having the greedy-ass king sprinkle them down every once in a while to you. However, read these upgrades. You're only increasing each of these effects by a percentile. This isn't enough. It's almost as if the game keeps baiting you into playing a little more by giving you false promises. It throws you these little treats that are nowhere near effective enough to deal with how many things that you want you dead. At this point, we just need an upgrade that turns the buster sword into a goddamn M60 or something. It's just not cutting it. No pun intended. After letting myself get murdered by the nightmare creatures around me, I decided it's time to try out the default sword now. I'm having a bit more luck this time around. I'm getting the upgrades faster. I'm even able to hold the enemies at bay for way longer than I could with the buster sword. However, these upgrades just don't feel like they're doing anything useful for me. The speed upgrade's nice, but the enemies will just spawn around you in a full 360, so all that does is whenever you pick it up, you run face first into some creature rising out of the ground. The reach attack doesn't really feel like it changes anything up too much. However, the base damage attack and the attack speed upgrade does make a difference. A small one, but a good difference nonetheless. At least you can watch the numbers go up, and that does tickle my brain a little bit. And you can upgrade your leather. And for some reason, the king really likes giving you this leather upgrade. I mean, every time I get it randomly, the next time the crafting event comes around, I can usually craft that upgrade too. What's the point of the damn leather? As far as I can tell, no other weapons or upgrades needed. Does the king own shares in a dairy farm, and does he get commission every time he moves product? Wait a minute. Alright guys, I'm really starting to think there is actually a story to this game. Yeah, I think I know what's happening here. The king isn't a king in the normal sense. You're a knight, sure, but you never see the kingdom you're meant to be defending. In fact, you don't even know what time or place any of this is happening in. My theory is that we're actually not an honor-bound knight at all. We're actually just a mercenary or a knight for hire hired by the quote-unquote king, aka our boss, to protect his investments in his cattle farms. Yeah, it's all starting to make sense now. That's why this king only hired one of us at a time. If he hired too many people, it would affect his bottom line. Now we can't have that, or else it would start to cut into his profits. Why do you think your rewards aren't gold or money? He pays us in upgrades to make you more efficient, or he gives you leather. Which to the king, that's a win-win for him either way. Either you do a better job at protecting his investments, or he just sweeps up whatever's on the shop floor and gives it to you as a goodwill gesture. It's almost like he's paying you in company money, and the soup, that's the only thing that would truly benefit you. However, that costs money, so no, he's only going to give you those sparingly. Doesn't want us to become too unmalnourished to revolt against him. Just enough to keep us subservient and fighting for him and the shareholders. I'm almost willing to bet he also owns shares in the weapons companies too. Yeah, he makes the best sword and sabotages the other swords so that you always have to default to his. Why do you think he picked this area for his kingdom headquarters? The monsters are just a native population. However, with the mummies and skeletons roaming around, that makes sure the property taxes are going to be incredibly low all the time. And with the constant onslaught of these angry-ass creatures, his weapons dealing business will be constantly making money. So congrats on the king's military-industrial complex that we're trapped in. Oh, and you think he cares about you? No. You're just another cog for him. If you live or die, the king doesn't care. He just simply hires someone else to suffer in the killing fields until his quotas are met. Or maybe I'm just looking into it too much. Hark, is that the developer Q&A alarm? I think it is. Let's get right into it. Alright, welcome to the developer interview. Today we have...
Hi, my name is Yakkodev. I'm a game developer from Argentina.
Alright, so just tell us a little bit about what you do.
Okay, I'm been developing a Survivors-like game for about 6 to 7 months, but it's been complicated. But uh, try to reach the release date that I set for myself.
Right, yeah, no, that's always a problem. So what was your inspiration for Rift Saviors?
Uh, the inspiration, as I already said, is from Vampire Survivors.
Okay.
But the thing is that when I was playing that game, I always wanted to interact with the environment and
Right,
have
yeah.
a more interactive gameplay, like not auto combat. Yes, to auto aim, but no to everything automatic. Things like
Right.
that.
Sort of like a bringing another level into it, like a little more in-depth experience than just
Yeah.
the standard. Right, got you. It was really good, by the way. I played the whole demo and I really enjoyed that aspect. I thought that was really cool.
I'm glad you said that because I think that demo version is very unpolished, and it's not the best representation of the final idea of the game.
Right. Yeah, no, I got you. I made sure that we said it all. I made sure that it was like this is only the demo. This is obviously not reflecting the final product. But so how long did it take you from start to wherever you're at now in development?
Yeah, as I said previously, I started at I think it was August or October from last year.
Oh, really?
So yeah, so
Jeez.
yeah, I think initially I planned to have a development plan of 3 months, but
You just sort of ran over that.
yeah,
He just kept thinking of like more and more ideas to keep it. And it just kept growing and
yeah,
growing.
things that weren't working, and other things like technical problems and the Unity stuff and all that.
Right. Yeah. Um. So where did the story come from, or like where did the idea of this setting come from? Like you're in this field and you're a knight of sorts. So like what is that leading into?
Yeah, I'm trying right now to communicate something like medieval fantasy,
Okay,
sci-fi,
yeah. I definitely
sci-fi.
picked that up from the demo, definitely.
Yeah, I'm working right now on the hub, which is like an steampunk medieval version of other game hubs like Hades,
Right. So there's
Keys, thing like that.
always going to
Uh,
be like a main hub you go back to.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
can't I definitely want to see that. That'll be cool.
Yeah, I'm going to send you the key for the next version, of course. Um, but yeah, I'm trying to, I like the medieval stuff, medieval fantasy, but I wanted to bring things like science fiction, and the idea was to have like different saviors or knights that
Yeah.
go around the world and go and stop the rift convergence of the rift breaks that happen around the world.
So, did anything crazy happen during the development of this game? Like, did you lose did any files get corrupted? Any of your hard drives go bad? Did anything like that happen?
Uh, no, but I was very scared because at the beginning, first of all, I'm not a very professional game developer, and I started this thing like less than 2 years ago.
Right.
So I didn't know how to use GitHub correctly. So
Oh,
the first 2 months of the game was without the GitHub connection set up properly.
oh
So
man.
so I was scared every day. I was scared because I knew
Sort
I
of like
knew
on
some
edge the whole time, like, oh,
yeah
what's gonna
yeah
happen?
yeah. I knew someday I could lose all the files.
Oh god, that would have been terrible.
Yeah,
So,
but it didn't happen to me, luckily.
oh well, that's yeah. Thank God for that. That would have been
Yeah,
awful.
yeah.
So, was this your first game? Was this like your first ever like big project, or have you done other games in the past?
It's my first commercial project, but not my first game.
Not your
The
first
first
game,
game
but it's
was
the first one on like the Steam store.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I wanted to try. I really like survival likes, but I wanted to try to, like the genre right now is very hot. There are a lot of games releasing right now, so I decided to give it a shot.
Yeah, honestly, well, like the even just like in the demo, it was like really fun. I even make a comment about how much I couldn't stop playing it because I was like so hooked on the idea of it, and I'm like genuinely excited to see where it goes because it's a very neat concept of not only being like a roguelite, but also with the crafting and the survival element part too. It's really good. I think the idea itself it's different enough to like make it its own thing, but it's also super goddamn addictive.
Oh, thank you. First of all, thank you. I'm glad you said that because uh, that demo, as I said earlier, that demo is very unpolished and it's I don't know. I've been playing that demo for about 7 months and I don't really find it fun
Really,
because
not at all. Well, I guess if you
I
made
mean,
it and spent all that
I
time.
mean, yeah, I play a lot of stuff. I play test everything, so
Right.
uh, I'm playing
So
the game every day, every hour.
so
So
what I've played and what you've played are two very different.
yeah,
You're seeing the professional work, and I'm seeing the game for what the game is. But honestly, I still think it's great. So do you have any final comments, or do you have any upcoming projects you'd like to talk about?
uh, I I don't have another game project. I do have um a next version that is coming out this April,
Right.
like with the main hub and uh, new characters, new weapons, new crafting system, and things like that.
Right. So so it's gonna basically be getting an entire new facelift from the
Yeah,
demo.
yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
that's gonna be
Getting all the
awesome.
feedback from the Steam Next Fest and other fest and Reddit, Twitter, and and answering those feedback with new updates, new gimmicks, new mechanics.
Right. Oh, so it's going to be basically like a whole different experience from what I got. That's going to be
Yeah,
great.
yeah,
I
yeah,
can't wait to
yeah,
see how that turns out.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. The crafting system is not going to be on the
I
on
did
the
notice
ranks anymore.
I did notice the king, and for some reason for the upgrades I kept getting the leather one a lot, and I never really quite understood what the like. So what's
Yeah,
the leather for? Is there anything in the demo that relates to it, or is it just like a future thing that's going to be added
there
in?
are some boots where you can run faster, and you need to use
Oh,
leather
so
to get
that's what the
those.
leather's for. Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
and the leather is like it's repeated in the upgrade list. That's why you got it so often.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, because I was getting a lot from the king kept giving me leather, and then I kept getting a lot of leather from a the upgrade system too. So I was
Yeah,
like,
the
God,
king
what do I do with
rewards.
all this damn leather?
Yeah, the king rewards are not going to be in the game because I wanted to have only one progression system. I don't know why I have added it in the first place, but
Ironically enough, I made a whole story plot line about the king because I just thought it was such a funny concept because you're a knight and you get thrown
yeah,
out into the middle of this field and there's just all these things that are trying to kill you. And at one part I'm like, well, what was the king's plan here? Why did he just throw you out into the middle of hell with
yeah,
all these creatures and he just randomly just he just kind of gives you things like, oh, come on, you can do it, keep going. It was really funny. I liked it. I really did. Um,
uh,
well, that's about all the time we have for today. I appreciate you coming on here and willing to give up some of your time out of your day to be on the show. It was a really great interview talking to you.
I really had a great time, but I apologize for my bad English. This is one of my first time speaking in English. I swear. Also, I'm a little bit nervous. I don't know what to expect.
I'm trying to get like indie devs to get more spotlight because I'm really sick personally of seeing like AAA getting so much attention and
Yeah,
nobody's really talking. Like people will talk about the indie games, but nobody wants to talk to the devs for some reason. And I've always been like, well, I'm playing all these games and there's so much soul and heart that goes into them from just like one person for months on end. Like how can you not be interested in like hearing something from them to along with the game itself. Like it's great. I love it. Anyway,
that's amazing. That's amazing.
thank you. I really appreciate it. I think it's a pretty
Yeah,
good idea. Everybody so far I've talked
uh,
to really likes it and they think it's interesting. But
yeah,
a
yeah. It's more than interesting. It's pretty cool.
right. But anyway, man, I appreciate your time and thanks for being on the show. That's I mean, it's been great talking to you. You know, I
Thank you.
wish you the best of luck and I hopefully everything goes well with the game. I can't wait to see what's going to be added in the next update. I'm really excited for that. But anyway, man, take it easy. You have a good day.
Thanks. You too.
Honestly, the best way I can describe this game would almost be like a reverse Doom. Yeah, instead of Doom Guy, you play as one of the grunts against the Doom Guy. You're thrown into hell that makes sure you aren't ready to deal with, and it's an uphill battle every damn second. But I tell you what, it makes for a fast, cutthroat, hard-as-nails experience that I just can't put down. I've been playing the demo for days now, trying to do just a little better each time. And I'm genuinely excited for the release of this game. I cannot wait to see what's going to be added in the future. If you want a game that's going to test the limits of your capabilities and how good your mouse is, this game is definitely going to be for you. I will wholeheartedly say that a cheap mouse probably won't survive this game, and neither will your sanity. That or you're going to come out stronger for it. Either way, it's going to be a living hell. Down with the King's Megacorp, 7.5 military industrial complexes out of 10. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, make sure to like and subscribe. See ya.